In the embrace of the fertile Stellenbosch Valley, hands toil with earth and vine to craft a wine each bottle of which is etched into history as a contemporary classic. At Zonnebloem, craftsmanship is treasured as the soul of the winemaking process, with a team of artisans continuing and honing the fine winemaking traditions established here in the 17th century. Le main à l'œuvre, or the hand that works, is at the locus of both the Zonnebloem crest and its approach to winemaking. Adopted as the motto in the 1940s, the phrase echoes the efforts of the dozens of craftsmen that through the centuries have added their art to the wines. Originally part of a larger property granted by Cape Governor Simon van der Stel, the farm that would later carry the Zonnebloem name was established in 1692 and was owned for generations by the Malherbe family. In 1856, Petrus Jacobus Malherbe divided the land between his two sons, Daniel Francis and Willem Andries, with Willem calling his half Zonnebloem, from the Dutch word for sunflower. In 1893, Zonnebloem was acquired by Frederick J.J. Furter, and for the next few decades, the Furters added their mark to the Zonnebloem legacy. In the 1940s, Frederick's daughter Marie became South Africa's first female winemaker, garnering many awards at the Cape Wine Show and establishing a proud tradition of female winemakers that is carried on at Zonnebloem today. Under Marie's tutelage, her brother-in-law, Johan de Villiers, learned the craft of winemaking and in 1943 bought the farm and added the hand that works motto. Under de Villiers, Zonnebloem continued to excel, and in 1963 it was taken over by Distel, ushering in an era of technological innovation. Today, Zonnebloem boasts a team of highly qualified, experienced and award-winning winemakers who continue the traditions of passion and craftsmanship that are synonymous with Zonnebloem. At the helm of the process, Dion Boshoff, the Zonnebloem cellar master, oversees the production with painstaking attention that is a hallmark of a master craftsman. The son of a grape picker, Dion's story is one that echoes that of Zonnebloem, a story of tireless work and devotion to the trade.
After graduating in 2001, I was appointed at Zonnebloem Cellars in 2002 as assistant winemaker. I did that for around 3 years. In 2005, I was promoted to white winemaker at Zonnebloem Cellars. And 5 years later, I was promoted to cellar master at Zonnebloem. People tell me at public tastings where we present the Zonnebloem wines that they know the wine, they grew up in a home where the wine was available. Some say it was the table wine at their 21st birthday. Taking that into account, I'd almost say Zonnebloem is like a household brand in the wine industry. Having a brand with that history demands from us to work hard to keep that brand contemporary classic, and that's our aim with Zonnebloem.
Sourced from over 30 grape growers around the Stellenbosch Valley, only the finest grapes are selected by Annelien Viljoen, Zonnebloem's viticulturist.
I grew up here in the winelands in Stellenbosch, surrounded by all these beautiful vineyards. My dad was a soil scientist and he's also a lecturer at the University of Stellenbosch. To make a great wine, one needs complexity. Complexity you get through different building blocks. So by selecting grapes with different flavor profiles, you can combine that. That's what grape selection is all about. Only optimal ripe grapes goes into our Zonnebloem range.
Once the grapes have been selected, they are distributed to Zonnebloem's dedicated red and white wine makers who craft from this natural canvas the delicate vintages that form the Zonnebloem range. Bonnie van Niekerk oversees the red wine production, cherishing her art as only a real craftsman would.
Working with wine is a process that's fascinated me from a really young age. It's one job that does combine nature, science and creativity, so we kind of have the best of all worlds. My approach to winemaking is just to throw away your watch. You cannot rush it. From crush to bottling can take up to 2 years. Red wine's like a puzzle. You've just got to wait for the pieces to fit, and you've just got to be patient until that happens. In a Zonnebloem blend, we're looking for good colour, lots of grippy tannin, very concentrated palate, ripe, dark, inky fruit. You can tell quite early on in the fermentation whether a wine has the ability to become part of the Zonnebloem blend or not.
On the other end of the spectrum, Elise Kutsia breathes love and life into Zonnebloem's white wines.
Since my early days as an assistant winemaker, I always enjoyed working with white wines more than red wines. I love the way that the different white grape varietals express their flavors so differently, and that gives me just so much to play with making different styles of wines. Everything from when the grapes arrive at the cellar all the way through to the final bottled product is my responsibility. I oversee the grapes offloading, the crushing, the pressing, and the whole fermentation process. After fermentation, there's a few processes the wine still needs to go through to become bottle ready. And finally, together with my team and the cellar master, we'll select and blend the final tanks for our final blend.
Working together and in creative harmony, these artisan winemakers craft a range of wines that is worthy of the label, contemporary classics. Zonnebloem's tradition of excellence is immediately apparent in its beautifully crafted range, which regularly achieves high prices on the annual Nederburg auction, where their maturation potential and collector's value make them a highly sought-after commodity. The robust Pinotage, the nuanced Shiraz Mourvedre Viognier, the enticing Merlot and the ruby red Cabernet Sauvignon form Zonnebloem's core red range. The white wine range consists of the delicate Chardonnay, the delightfully fresh Sauvignon Blanc and the crisp Blanc de Blanc, offering unparalleled excellence. When a harvest is deemed exceptional, a limited edition wine is produced. These exceptional vintages represent the quintessential expressions of a particular varietal. Crowning the Zonnebloem range is the flagship Laureate, full-bodied, well-balanced, complex and timeless. Whichever bottle of Zonnebloem you choose, you will be opening a work of art, a finely crafted wine that will delight the senses.